Alright, since the theme of the week in Killer Flicks this week is gore slash torture porn, I wanted to talk about Hostel, which is really it's a divisive movie in terms of the horror fans, and in terms of like critics, I think it's divisive as well. And I fall under that boat too because I'll explain more about this as I go along, but I feel like the biggest negative for me is I can't stand these characters. But it is really fucking intense, and that's the best thing about it. Like, there's some great moments in this movie. So, that's basically the main gist of what I'm going to talk about is I don't like these characters, but I really do love the intensity, the horror, the torture. Like, it is really, really gritty and feels really real and disgusting. And I think that this movie really bleeds disgusting, and no pun intended, but this really, like, feels really disgusting and really so much so it's just so strong in how intense it is. Like, it is a very intense movie, and it works because it has a great mystery to it. Because whenever I first watched this movie, I never really knew what it was until like I saw the movie. I like that I came in clean to this and not knowing the mystery. And I like how it's Quentin Tarantino presents Hostel. That's a funny thing, too, that Quentin Tarantino does this for a lot of other movies, where like he'll present them. I just thought that was a funny thing to point out at the beginning. And I really thought the opening of the movie was really cool. I like the idea of, like it kind of does ruin the mystery of it, like, you know that there's something, like, somebody's killing people. But, I mean, of course, you kind of would expect that in this movie, without knowing the description, you would probably have guessed that's probably what it's going to be. But I really like the opening credits, because I liked how the opening credits were completely, like, it was silence. It was just literally whistling from this guy cleaning up a bloody mess. And that works really well. That's really disturbing, and that really started out the movie on a great note. That really just is so strong. And then we get to the characters at the beginning of the movie, where these three characters, they're just such douchebags. And I don't know if Eli Roth, I haven't seen all of his movies, but man, just this movie in particular, besides Jay Hernandez, Paxton, the character Paxton, like, I feel like he does get a little bit of redemption, but the other two guys, and Paxton before the end of the movie, like, they are just raging douchebags. Like, everything they say is so demoralizing to people, the way they talk to people, the way they act. They're just little shitheads. They don't have any respect for anybody, which is something that really is not a good thing. And I really like it when characters in a horror movie are likable. So whenever they either die off or they are in danger, I like them more. But in this, I didn't care for them really until the end with Paxton. Like, I felt more for him later, but at the beginning, just these characters were so annoying and so obnoxious, and it was never where I wanted to like turn the movie off or anything whenever I've watched it before, but I've just been like it annoys me and how just douchey they are. They're just so douchey and unlikable, and it's really annoying. And it starts with them just going out smoking bongs, going to, like, trying to get laid, and they go and find this guy who tells them about this place that they need to go to in, like, say, Romania. And it's like a secret, like, sex thing, where, like, you go and all these beautiful women are there, and they, of course, go to try to find it. And I think it's at Bratislava. I think it's past Bratislava. I think that's what they said. And I'm not good with like location names, but like I know it's something like that, Bratislava. And it's basically just about them going to do that. They go on this mission, and it's a simple mission. They go but all they do is just talk shit on everybody as they go along. And they finally get there after this guy tells them where to go. They finally make it out of the U.S. to there, and they all three of them have sex with these beautiful girls at night, but then the one guy, Oldie, is gone, like in the morning, like he's just gone. And Paxton and Josh are just like, where'd he go? And like you think that he's just gone, but then it does this interesting cut to like him just having his head cut off, like just sitting there on a table, where like the guy from the beginning opening credits just cut his head off. And you'll realize later that it's like an artist thing, where like they're paying money for like people being murdered and all this. And it's like a secret, it's like society thing, and I think that it's a really cool idea. But I like the idea that it just cuts to him, his head's cut off, and then it cuts to the other girl, another girl who was there too, and the killer goes, gets like little like pliers, gets onto like her toe, like her second toe before her big toe, and like puts him on her toe, and she starts screaming, and he starts squeezing it. But then it does this fantastic cut where it goes to the other girl that was with her that night, and she's cutting her toenails, and that clipping noise, that was a really cool edit. That was a really cool sound effect too, just the girl in danger screaming, about to get her toe like squished, and then it cuts to the other girl cutting her toenails. That's really cool, and that's a really cool editing thing. I really thought that was awesome. Like that, like it's such a small little tidbit, but I really thought that was cool. So like they don't know that Oldie's dead. He's just gone, and like he had a picture with the other girl. Like they left. Apparently, is what the people at the hotel are telling him at the hostel, saying like, oh, they left, and like he took all his luggage with him. And of course, Paxton's just like he doesn't think that that's what it is. His friend's never done that to him before, so why would he do that now? So he tries to figure out this mystery, and then Josh gets suckered in and gets killed too, but you actually see him get tortured. And man, this is really, like, this is where it gets intense in the movie. Like Josh is taken in by that guy again, the killer, one of these guys, and he's stuck in a chair while the guy's just cutting Josh. And this is where it makes me like nauseous and makes me squirm, is whenever Josh gets out of the chair, but the guy cut his Achilles tendon, so like both of his Achilles tendons, so like he literally gets up, his legs bend back by his foot, and he just falls into the ground and struggles. And it is, in terms of the acting there, that's really good. Like, the acting's good in this, they're just written really douchey, but that guy, whenever he was in the torture he was in, that was really hard to watch. Like, that's really, really actually gross and intense. But he gets tortured and then gets killed, of course. And then, like I said, Paxton realizes that Josh is gone too, and he starts looking for clues, like what the hell is going on? And he knows something bigger than what they're thinking of is going on now. And then he finds that artist location, and he actually gets taken in and sees all these people being tortured, and that's a really great scary cut where scene where he's walking, like he's being taken down to be tortured, and like you see like all these people just in different rooms screaming, freaking out, being cut, being like hung. Like it is really effective in that in that reasoning for this, in this movie. It really works in those moments. It is just very strong in how intense and gross it is, and I do like the feeling of dread in this movie, because it really is really intense with moments like that. But then the thing I like is that he does fight this guy with a chainsaw who like is gonna like kill him, and he does like stab like Paxton like before he gets killed. But like I like that fight between him and the guy with the chainsaw, and like Paxton gets out, so he starts running around underground to try to get above ground to leave, and then he is trying to hide, but then he finds this other guy who's another like killer in training, like he's doing this, and like he just thinks because Paxton finds a suit and puts it on that he thinks that Paxton's part of it too, and asks him weird questions like, "How did you kill whoever you killed to get here?" Like, and I love how Paxton's reaction is just like he doesn't know what to say, but I like the fact that even though he is nervous, like he doesn't break his stance, and that guy just thinks he's still just on the job, like he's a guy working like he is. I thought that was really cool, and whenever Paxton goes down again and finds, like, he hears screaming because he's about to leave, and then he finds screaming, and this is where I feel like he's got a little redemption moment where this character was douchey like the other two, but I feel like he now in this moment realizes that somebody else is in danger and he's right there. He goes to save her, and she goes in, and there's that guy that he was talking to while he was trying to hide, and I liked how he just plain kills him, and he goes and saves this Asian girl who literally, there's like a flamethrower, like, in her face, like a flame, and her face is completely, like, one side completely red up on her eye spot, and her eye is just literally hanging out down to here, and he cuts it off, and then pus flies out of her eye, and it's disgusting, and it really, again, it really is effective. It really works so well. But he sneaks out with her. They make it out. And then I like the fact that he gets a car, and then he goes, like, he's driving to get out of there. There's a vehicle in the way of this little street that he's got to get past. The vehicle moves, and there's that guy from the beginning of the movie again, and the two girls that they had sex with. And you realize that he's giving him money, like, so they were part of it together. And I just thought, oh shit, and he's stuck there in the road, like. But then I love the fact that he looks at him, they look at him, they realize who it is, he just runs him the fuck over. Like, he runs over these horrible people, just kills them, and I love that moment. And I love how this movie does have a great, fulfilling ending. Like, this is really rewarding for me, like, just with how horrible these villains are, and how this guy, like, tries to get out and escape. And I like how he ran over just those couple of people, the two girls and the guy from the beginning. That's great, because they deserved it. But then there's, like, a great, like, chase of him leaving, and, like, he's gonna get on the train with the other girl, and the other girl sees herself in the reflection, like, through, like, a door, and then she sees the whole, like, gash, like, bloody gash on her face with no eye, and then she just, for some reason, literally jumps into the train. It splatters over everybody, and it's sad, but it works really well. Just how, God, you felt for this character who literally just was tortured, has one eye now, literally looks disgusting, so she just throws herself into the train and dies. Suicide. That is incredibly, like, I just didn't expect that. I didn't expect that to happen whenever I first saw it. I was just like, wow, cool. And then I love the fact that the other guy at the beginning that they meet on the train, who's one of the guys in charge of all this, he's back on the train again whenever Paxton gets on the train, but then he gets off. So Paxton follows the guy into the bathroom, locks the bathroom door, or the door into, like, the sub, like, way to the bathroom. He goes in, and Paxton got two of his fingers cut off earlier in the movie. So Paxton goes in there, throws his card underneath, like, the card for the guy underneath his bathroom stall. The guy puts his hand down. Paxton grabs him. He cuts his fingers off, just like he did to Paxton, or like Paxton got his fingers cut off. And Paxton dunks that guy into the toilet, just dunks him, keeps him under there for a long time, picks him up, and then slits his throat. And I just thought that was one of the most rewarding ways to kill off this villain. Like, it just felt so rewarding just to see that shit happen, to see that guy get fucking destroyed, like, just killed because of all the shit he has done to people. I really loved that. I loved how Paxton did that, and he did that, and then the movie literally ends where Paxton gets on the train, and that's it. Like, he looks out and then the movie ends. And I liked how the movie didn't have a jump scare, like, at the end. Like, that was great. That This movie, honestly, it does, like, I still feel really mixed on it because of the characters being, like, obnoxious, and I just didn't like them, besides Paxton towards the end. But in terms of the build-up, in terms of the gore, in terms of the, like, how thrilling it is really impressive. It's a really impressive movie, and I don't know if this is Eli Roth's first film. I can't remember. I don't know Eli Roth super well. Like, I haven't seen a lot of his movies, but this might be one of his first. It might be his first one. But god damn, this in terms of intensity and brutality is just incredible. And the build up is fine from the beginning, but as it gets towards the end, it just gets better and better. Just awesome. It's just for the most part, it's an awesome horror movie, and I really, really dig it. And I haven't seen any of the sequels, so I'm excited to talk about the other ones. So yeah, this one was an interesting rewatch. So yeah, Hostel. Hostel is a mixed bag, but more so I really enjoy it overall.